Welcome to the Sleevie G Show. I'm the host of your most. My name is Gomez, and today, when I'm talking about talent, this young man has talent on the field and off the field. And when I'm talking about off the field, it's amazing what he has done. The man, I sent him a pitch, and I'm going to blur down my background, guys, because this is something you have to see live. Because why? It's an amazing product of what he did. And we're talking about the official Nike Sleevie G shoe made by this young man, Ryan from Next Level Customs. Ryan, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. Like I said,
Cool.
this shoe is so hot. Even the pictures that you sent me did no justice until you get them in your hands,
Right.
man. Let me tell you, it's unreal. And on top of it, I still have your tags on the shoe. That's how you know I don't even want to get rid of
Right.
the tags because your tag marks are pretty cool. There they are,
Yeah.
guys. And he's got his stuff right here. Now, the question is, I did a little background check and I've seen some of your pictures, and I saw you were a big baseball guy.
Right. Yep.
Now you played what in high school and college? Well, I'm assuming back in the day you played, little league baseball and Babe Ruth and all that stuff. Now you went to play high school. Did you get a chance to play college ball?
I did. Yeah. I played at Central Penn College all 4 years as starter. Yeah, I started when I was 5 or 6 years old, and then just played little league or t-ball, coach pitch, little league, high school, and then I was fortunate enough to play in college. So yeah, I've been around baseball and playing baseball for what feels like forever.
Yeah. Well, I could say that. Talking from an old baseball player from minor league to little league to Babe Ruth. I stopped playing in high school because I became more of a football player. So
Oh,
was
okay. Yeah.
more. So track became more of my life with football. I got to put my background back up. I don't want people seeing my ugly stuff in the background here. um, Now I got to ask the question: how did you get Next Level Customs? Like, how did you start this beautiful this inspiration of passion that you're doing now?
Yeah. So I officially started the company in 2020. Uh, right when COVID started, there was not really much else to do. So I figured why not try to do something that I've always kind of liked to do. I always paint it, I always draw, like I like to draw,
Mhm.
and then I like sneakers. So it kind of was hand in hand. And I wanted my own customs, but these other customizers, they're like 800, 900, $1,000, like up in that range. And you should price your work what you think it's worth. I don't get me wrong, but for me, a kid in high school or college, I couldn't afford that. So I was like, you know what, let me give it a shot. So yeah, I did it for some friends and family, and then it started picking up on Facebook and all. So then I just decided to make it something real and made it a business. So that's how Next Level Customs got started in 2020.
And I gotta tell you, Ryan, I've seen some custom work before on shoes, but I'll tell you, you rank high up there, like with the $900 to $1,000 shoe range.
Great, that means a
Easy.
lot. Thank you.
I mean, the quality of work that you did to these shoes. I mean, we talked. It was a little over a month ago that I connected with you, and I asked about the shoe, and then the price was phenomenal on my part. I'm not going to divulge that because that's something that you will discuss with your loyal customers. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep.
But for me, it was a phenomenal price. I couldn't say no when you told me. That's why I went and I reacted so quickly, like, let's get it done.
Right.
But getting to know you, seeing your artwork, and that's why I said, what about you coming on the show? Because I want New Jersey to know about you. I know you went to the deli guy in New Jersey and you
Yeah, I
made
did.
his
Yep.
custom shoe. So I was like, I'm not huge, but listen, I got a little chunk of Jersey in me.
Sure.
I want
Yeah.
people to know you. And let me tell you, the stuff that you guys are pulling, like, if you go to his Instagram, people, I'll tell you, we'll mention the name and everything, but you should see the artwork. I mean, there's my shoe right there next to some of the Philly greats we were talking about. I mean, I think you made John Kruk, Philly great,
Yep.
his shoes, Mike Schmidt, which is my shoes right on top above Mike Schmidt's shoe, which is kind of cool for
Yeah.
me. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Beautiful. I mean, the blues, the whites. The artwork is unreal. Like, when someone, like, did you get involved with the Philly organization? I guess is now the next question, because that's a huge customer base, but you're dealing with MLB superstars now. How is that? Like, that's got to be surreal a little bit.
Yeah, it's been insane. There's no other word to put it. It's been insane. Um, in 2021, I did a pair for Andrew McCutchen while he was on the Phillies, but that really wasn't. I don't even know the word for it. That was pretty much Hail Mary. I'm gonna go down there with these customs, and hopefully I can see them and give them to him. So me and my dad every year. My dad is involved huge in the business. He does all my prep work, taping, sanding, and without that, the shoe is nothing. You know what I mean? I can paint it, but it's gonna fall off.
Right.
So he's been great. So every year we try to go to a different away game for the Phillies, just so we can see all the stadiums and whatnot. So in 2021 we went to Atlanta, and
Nice.
the business was fairly new at the time. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna make a pair. I tried to reach out on Instagram and all. He viewed my story and liked it. So I'm like, that's enough for me. I'm doing it. That's enough for me
Yeah.
to interact. I'm doing it. So I went on eBay. I found what shoe size he was from a game worn pair. So I found that, bought the same cleat, painted it, took it down to Atlanta, and he just happened to be there right in batting
Wow.
practice. Worked out perfect. I told him I had a pair for him, and I went down and gave it to him. So that was the first, I guess, high profile person that I did a pair for, even though it was kind of spur of the moment. But then this, I think it was the beginning of January. No, it had to be December. So last December,
Mhm.
I got a DM from Bailey Falter. He used to pitch for the Phillies, now pitches for the Pirates.
Right.
And he said, can you do a St. Patrick's Day pair for me for a spring training game? And I said, for sure. That was my first like agreement with a player, like do
Right.
a pair for me type of thing. So that was really special. And then I said, you think I could drop them off to you in Florida? And we're in Pennsylvania. So he's like, yeah, come down and I'll get you tickets and whatever. So went down to Florida, dropped them off. The video went viral. It was like 200 some thousand views,
Yeah.
which was huge for me at the time because we had like 500 followers maybe on TikTok. So that blew up. And then it seems like every time I get a player, another player gets with me. So
Mhm.
after that, it was Bryson Stott,
Right.
who plays second base for the Phillies, and that was crazy because I was uh I was in the middle of a college game, and I'm in the on deck circle, and everyone's like, "Your dad needs you. Your dad needs you." And I'm thinking like, "Oh no, he would never do this in the middle of a game, especially right before an at bat to like call me over and come to the
Yeah.
dugout or whatever." So I go over to the. I'm like, "What's going on? What's going on?" Bryson Stott just DM'd you. He wants a pair. And I'm
Mhm.
like, you're lying to me. He's like, I swear, I swear, I swear. He DM'd you. He wants a pair. He saw Bailey's. He wants a pair. And I'm like, the game was like secondhand though. I'm sure some of my teammates and my coaches might see this, but like the whole game, I'm thinking to myself, oh my god, we can do this and we can do that, and I wonder what he wants, and I'm gonna go down and deliver to him. And I knew he was a Nike guy, so it'd be an easy pair to do. So all that was going on in my head, and then yeah, after the game, I DM'd him. We talked a little bit, and that's where I did the Liberty Bell ones for him.
Yes, which I saw, by the way. Those were great. I mean, you got some great pictures. First of all,
Thank you.
I'm a little jealous, of course, you know what I mean? Because my status compared to your status, man, it's totally two different ways. Man, for me, if I get to meet any of these Philly greats, because I respect the city of Philly. I love going down to Philly a lot whenever I could.
Yeah.
I had my cousins lived in Pottstown for so many
Oh,
years.
okay.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
I know I had my buddy who lived in Philly right by the art district. I breathed and lived Philly for quite a while. You know what I mean?
Right. For sure.
And
Yeah.
Pats for me, by the way. I will say
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
I'm a Pats
Okay.
guy.
Okay.
I'm a
Okay.
Pats guy. I like Pats. I tried
I'm
Genius.
more of a Steve's. A Steve. If you
Steve's
ever
is
have
good.
Steve's,
Steve's is
Steve's
good,
is.
and Delisandro's.
I never had Delisandro's. I hear it's very good. I heard John's roast pork's really good too. Never
I
had
heard
it,
never had it either, but
but
I heard that too.
I
But
got to. Yeah.
Delisandro's and Pats are right up there for me.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I actually like the chopped up meat more. I will say
I
that.
do too. I do too. That's why Steve's was like a weird thing for me because they don't chop theirs up. But I
No,
prefer it. Like it's a weird thing. It's a
I
weird
know
thing.
it's a Philly thing, people. If you're asking, no, I'm not from Philly. I've been to Philly a lot. I respect the city. I respect some of the teams. I have one disrespect for one team, and that was the Flyers because I'm a New York Ranger guy.
That makes
I will,
sense. That's
I will,
respectable.
and I'm a United Cowboy fan. Don't like the Cowboys. I I I kind of Eagles I respect because they're a good football team.
Right.
I will say that. I hate the Cowboys the most. Eagles will be probably the third most hated team in my thing, with
Right.
Commanders are number two.
Yeah,
But
that makes sense.
so for me, but the Phillies, I always had like a respect spot because it's this old school team that the logo really never changed. The old school, I always like the old school
Yeah.
80s jersey, the P on it. You know
Hmm.
what I mean?
Me
Matter of
too.
fact, if I
Yep.
remember, it looks like you're wearing the old school hat. The Phillies
Yeah.
have with the
Yep.
colors. So
Yep.
and that's one of my favorite hats, which is kind of funny because I respect the old school time of Phillies. It's like the Yankees jersey. You got to granted you hate the Yankees because they always won the world championships.
It's a classic.
It's a classic
Yep.
thing, you know what I mean? So for me, seeing Bryson Scott, seeing John Kruk, seeing oh my god, you have some all stars in here, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and seeing your shoes at the game when they're being interviewed and they pan down or where they're playing the game. How hyped up are you when you see this?
It there's no word in the world that can express like I can't even put it into words right now. It is such an unreal feeling. Like right now, I'm watching the game. Edmundo Sosa's wearing the pair of cleats I did for him. So at first, it was like, oh my god, this is the craziest thing ever. This is like next level, like no pun intended, next level stuff for
Yeah.
the business to be on TV. But then it was like, well, now they're talking about you. Not only did you see them wearing it, now they're talking about it.
Mhm.
And John Krug, I'll have to say, is like probably our number one supporter.
That's
And
awesome.
it's so weird to put like to say that out loud, but he
Hey,
is such a genuine, great human being. Um, we text a lot. Mike Schmidt, same way. My dad's like, you don't think it's crazy right now that you're sitting here texting Mike Schmidt?
that's
Like you don't think
awesome.
that's
Like,
crazy?
and I respect Mike Schmidt too. He's such a great ball player. And John Kruk too. You're talking
Yeah.
about when I watched baseball, I was a fan of his attitude.
Oh
Crucky's
yeah, for sure.
attitude. He had
It's
that
great.
long damn hair at that time, and that's a guy I would love to talk to because he's just an amazing man. He
Yeah,
he's
he's
gone through
awesome.
he's gone through a lot, but he's also probably the one of the most respected Philly in Philadelphia because
Oh, absolutely.
he is like the king of Philly. He is very well
Absolutely.
respected from past teammates to future players to Hall of Fame status. The man is, I loved him in when he was in the movie The Fan playing,
Yeah.
with Wesley
You know what's so
Snipes.
funny about that? It's so funny. I joked with my dad before I met him.
Uh,
I'm like, I should tell him, oh, I loved you in the fan. I don't know much about your baseball career, but I loved you in the fan, like as a joke. And when I met him, I don't remember how it came up, and he's like, I hate that movie. I hate that damn movie. So I guess so thank God I didn't say anything.
right. I
But
thought he was good
he
in the
is
movie. I thought he was great.
I told him, he's like, you guys like that movie? I'm like, yeah, I kind of liked it. I thought it was cool. I mean, I'm a sucker for any baseball movie, but
Same here.
I thought it was cool. I mean, but he's
I'm a
like, I
sucker
hate that
for
damn movie.
yeah. I'm a sucker for any good sports movie.
For sure. Yeah.
Field of Dreams I'm a sucker
Oh,
for.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
the Fan I love because I was a huge Wesley Snipes fan.
Yeah.
Granted, there's some parts of the movie I guess I can understand maybe why he didn't like it because he was wearing a Giants jersey. He's a Philly guy.
Yeah.
That
And he got killed at the end. So
yeah,
that probably
that didn't have that. Yeah, I totally respect him for that one. I get it.
Yeah,
Um, you know, The Sandlot, one of my favorites, of course.
absolutely.
Summer Catch with Freddie Prinze Jr. That's always a classic because that's Chatham right there for you. That
Yeah.
literally,
Yeah.
I don't know about the drinking and all that level, but I know,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's Chatham baseball. That's legit, even though it's not a true story, but it is a true story. But it's kind of funny. It's the Phillies are in that one, not the
Right.
Yankees or
Right.
something,
Right.
or the sucky Mets, which I hate the
Yeah.
Mets. But I mean, talking to these guys, and your business is growing now. You started in 2020. Here we are, 2023, and your name's being mentioned by Mike Schmidt, John Kruk. All these Philadelphia greats are coming and talk to you. Like, for me, talking to you is mind blowing. But talking about these Philadelphia Philly greats is mind blowing. That you actually have a legit conversation with these guys is the cool
Right.
thing. You know, some people think now. You can tell me your opinion. Like, I'm a huge fan of any sport. I love baseball. I love football. I love hockey. I didn't play hockey, but I love it. Basketball, I'm not as big because I want to thank one LeBron James for ruining it all for me. You know,
Yeah.
ever since he did that whole ESPN thing, I don't
Oh
think
yeah.
if anybody tells me he's the GOAT, I'm gonna tell him you better rethink the stats because he can never beat
Right.
Kobe or Jordan.
Right. Yeah, I'm a Jordan guy.
I'm a
If
Jordan
anybody
guy.
asks me that, I'm a Jordan guy. So
So
yeah.
I'm a Jordan guy because man, I grew up watching him versus Bird versus Johnson versus Isaiah Thomas, the Admiral, Charles Barkley for crying out loud. Now, I feel the NBA got a little weak, and it was in the
Yeah.
80s and the 90s. Those were the tough years. There were people were throwing punches.
Yeah. That I've seen, obviously I wasn't born then, but I see all the highlights and all, and yeah.
Trust me, I was born in it. I'll
Yeah.
say I was born in '79. I'll say I'm 43, turning 44 this year. So
Right.
I'm getting older. The facial hairs of the way hairs are coming out now. So,
Gotcha. Yeah.
but this is what happens when you have married and you have two kids.
No, yeah, for
But
sure. That'll help. Yep.
it does help. But it's kind of funny. I'm looking at one of the Philly and guys again. You gotta check out his Instagram. There's one. I don't think this was for the Phillies. It was a red, white, and blue, and has a P right in the middle. It looks phenomenal. That the color coordinations. Now, you asked me how I wanted my shoe. I just said, do what you think goes well with my logo, and I think you represented it perfectly. I mean, I'm pretty hyped
Right.
up for
Thank
it,
you. Thank you.
because
For
to
sure.
me that's attention to detail. I don't know how you did. I don't know if you went on my IG page and started looking what I do and stuff. Like, you nailed it out of the park, and that's why now the next step is like you get your client. Now you talk about what they want. Now you put down the graphics. Now this takes a while for you, I'm assuming, because I know we said 2 to 3 weeks with me, but with
Mhm.
something specialty with some of these guys, how long does it take?
Yeah, right now it's about a 6 week service time. That's just because I'm so backed up right now. It's crazy. It's I'm the only one who actually paints.
Okay.
So it takes probably anywhere from about 10 to 12 hours, give or take, per shoe. So it takes a lot of time. But you were like the perfect customer for me. I love it when they're just like, here, you just do it, you be creative, and that's my favorite part of working with a customer.
And that's what like I said, like I'm, the guy who did my logo, the Sleevie G logo. I said, me, make the logo, just make it shine, and he did. As you can
Right.
see
That's
right in the
awesome.
background, you know what I mean. And I love
Yeah,
your
it's
logo.
awesome.
I actually love your
Yeah,
logo
thank you.
too.
Thank you.
Now,
I
how
actually
did
drew it.
I was going to ask you, how did you come up with that one?
So I'm I'm about 6'5", 170-ish.
Okay,
So I'm tall and skinny. When I play baseball, everyone called me the Slim Reaper. So
I love it.
so it just caught on, and then originally when my business was a little smaller, I think you could see on those business cards, because I got to get some new ones, but
Hmm.
it featured an Air Force One with a Nike logo on it.
Yeah, I did.
So I said, when I started getting all this attention, I'm like, I don't think I want a night, just in case they ever came back and said, what are you doing using that stuff?
Hmm.
I don't want to be kind of tied to the Nike logo on it. So I was like, I do need like a mascot type of thing. So yeah, the logo is what pretty much represented me. The It says Slim Reaper under it, but
Yes,
that
it does.
also
I saw
acted
that.
like, yeah, that acted like some eye black for when I play baseball, because
Okay.
everyone knows I wear like a ton of eye black. And then the backwards hat, same
Uh,
thing. I always wear a backwards hat, so it was really fun to make, but
Right.
yeah, it came out pretty cool, I think.
I mean, for the show, I wear the hat this way so people see the Sleevey G, but I'm
Yeah,
the same way. I actually wear my hat backwards, except when I'm doing Showtime right now. You know what I mean?
right,
At,
right, yeah,
at work, I have my hat on backwards. On anywhere where I go, my hat's backwards because
right, yeah,
I
me
like to be
too.
the I like to be the cool guy. We're putting the shades on the lid in the back.
Yeah, yep, for
So
sure.
but that's funny because growing up I was playing football, so I always had the gut hanging out, the arms hanging out. So when I was in my old podcast, Sleevie G, I just said, people were starting calling him the sleeveless one. You know what I mean? So I was like,
Oh,
that's
okay, that's awesome. Yeah, that's
so I'm like,
cool.
I actually kind of like it. And then we took a hiatus, but I ended up I think it's more of a sabbatical right now. But my ex-partner, not my ex-partner, my partner is doing very well on his own show where I'm doing my
Oh,
own
okay, yeah.
show. He's more music, I'm more of a little bit of everything, as you could see. I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
I like to cover all different genres. And I'm not a huge sneakerhead, but I am a huge Air Force One guy. So when I
Right.
saw you do the Air Force Ones, if anybody has seen me post, I posted with the song Air Force One. Why? Because it just
Yeah,
goes well with that sneaker.
for sure.
And again,
Absolutely.
I'll probably repost this tonight with the shoe and my screen, saying just had another great interview with Next Level Customs because we have to. Um, you know, Now that you're expanding, it's been 3 years, you're in the business, you're getting your players, you're expanding. Now, what's really legitimately next for Next Level? Like, what would be the next biggest step for you guys?
Yeah, right now, pretty much just the same as I'm almost positive after baseball season things will slow down a little bit.
Mhm.
Um, I would love to do someone in the NFL. That'd be amazing. NFL, NBA. I'd like to expand a little bit. But yeah, football season. I already have a bunch of. I'm looking at it now. All the football cleats I have to do for high schools and colleges and things like that. But yeah, just trying to grow the business as much as I can. It's been
So,
just a crazy 6 months. So just kind of keeping the momentum going and just seeing how far I can get it to be.
colleges are now calling it like Penn State. I'm assuming like a lot of the local
It's
PA.
actually yeah, it's a lot of no teams yet, which
Okay.
I'm sure will happen eventually just because I have a lot of friends within the industry
Mhm.
who do it like all teams, but a lot of individual players. Uh but yeah, I could see that happening in the future though.
Just saying, if anything from Notre Dame, just please for me.
I got you for sure.
I'm a huge Notre Dame fan. That's a bucket list for me to. I I I
Yeah.
I always wanted to be that guy running with the gold helmet. That never
Yeah,
happened.
yeah.
The
Right.
Notre Dame. I went through a Catholic school, so Notre Dame was a
Oh,
pipe
okay.
dream. You know what I mean?
Right, right, right.
Unfortunately, I never got the chance to play college ball. I did get hurt. I think I was good. I thought in my head I was good enough to play Division One, but I never got the opportunity. But you know what?
Oh man, yeah.
I'll say this: to coach high school football was a true honor. Um,
Mhm.
I had the ability to coach high school football at my alma mater of high school.
Oh, that's awesome, yeah.
I got to coach the freshman team. I
Oh,
got to
that's sick, yeah.
Yeah, I got to literally teach linemen what I've learned in 4 years of my high school career of football and what the coaches are teaching us. And we were lucky enough in 2006 because I was also the scouter. So I would go scout the
Oh,
week.
okay, yeah.
So I got to scout a lot of teams and prep my coaches, and they'll prep the team. And that was mostly me.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I love doing that stuff. I love football. I love my pipe dream was always to coach the NFL. I know it ain't happening, but that was always a dream of mine to coach and to coach college and
Yeah.
NFL. But now it's like time's going away. So you know what? I had the
Yeah,
opportunity.
things come up and all, I hear you.
And I gotta say this. I will say I'm very proud of my alma mater. In 2006, we finally won the state high school championship, and we
Oh,
played
that's awesome,
against
yeah.
a future New York Giant of Victor Cruz.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So to see him play at Patterson Catholic, I got to see him for 2 years. To see him develop and play and the way he was a true honor of the system. And I will say to beat them was even better because I got the ring to prove it.
Right,
I
right.
do have the 2006 championship ring. Um, was with a C on it for coach, which was great for me. You know what I mean? So I have it in my covenant of trophies of autograph stuff there. It's one of those
Oh, that's
covenant
cool.
things. It's one of those things. I do have a New York Rangers fake championship ring. and I have a Giants fake championship ring, but that's how true I am to my sports. I mean,
Yeah, that's respect. Respect.
the Yankees have too many. I just said forget it. I'm not doing the Yankees
Yeah.
because I got mine, so mine was more important than the Yankees. But
Right.
in high school, in college, did you ever get a chance to play in the championships and win the big one?
Yeah. So in high school, we went to the district final every year. We only got one though. We only got one my freshman year. And then in college, we went to the uh ESAC, which is like our conference.
Hmm.
We went to the conference championship my junior and senior year.
Nice.
My freshman year was COVID, so I lost out on that.
Yeah,
And
just about
then
everybody.
right, right. So we went to the ESAC championship my junior year, we lost. And then Bucks County, which is like the juggernaut school in our conference, they always kind of handed it to us all 4 years I played there, and then we beat them in the conference championship my senior year. So my last college game ever was a championship. I'll take it. We actually played a doubleheader, which was so odd. Like, why would you
Oh,
play the championship game and then a doubleheader?
yeah,
But
that's rough. It's like we won.
yeah,
Who cares?
pretty
Yeah.
much. But it was so in Central Penn is a small college,
Yeah,
so we don't go to the College World Series. We go to the small College World Series.
but it's still the World
So
Series of college, though. It's still kind of
right,
cool.
right. So that game could have meant like if we would have won, we could have won, or it could have affected them. It was something around that. But after we won the first game, I went up to my coach and I'm like, I'm good. I'm good enough. I played center field. I'm good. I had a couple hits. I'm cool with living it like that. And he's like, that's fine. He understood, and he was a huge supporter of the business too, because there was some days where I had to, miss a practice, or
Yeah, I
the
was about to
news would
say.
come out to practice, like things like that. And he was really cool with everything. So I really appreciate him for all of that.
And I'll tell you, I appreciate your coach too, but I appreciate something else that guys don't realize. I know you're a big horror guy because I'm looking in your background. I see some Mike
Oh yeah, yep.
Myers. So, but it's
Oh
also
yeah.
funny, as you we look at your page, and I'm still going through it like right now, because there's so much stuff. You have, which I think is probably one of the hot shoes. I mean, you got Jason Voorhees and Freddy Krueger
Hmm.
on a pair of
Yeah.
Air Force Ones, man.
Yep.
That's
Those
hot.
yeah, those actually before I even started doing the pro shoot, well, with Bailey,
Mhm.
that's how I was paying the bills, you could say. Like I probably did probably close to like 70 pairs of just those. So I had an Etsy account for a while before I did things on my own,
Mhm.
and I would just get like two or three a day, and I was like trying to keep up with that. So that was
Yeah.
what really, I guess you could say, put me on the map with a lot of my followers. A lot of my followers, know me from that. So that was the big order in stock that I had.
Right.
So yeah, I'm a huge War fan. So it was really a lot of fun to make.
I mean, I'm like, if you guys, if you see what I see and the work that you put into Ryan, and I'm gonna say it, it's goddamn fucking amazing. Yes, you can curse on this
Thank
show.
you.
So
Okay, thank
not
you.
to worry, explicit, whatever. I don't give a crap, man. But some of this artwork, of course, I do have to question the one cleat of the Boston Red Sox. It looks like. Ugh.
Oh yeah, that is it. Is it the navy one with the
The
pinstripes?
Navy, yeah, that's
So
the one.
that's actually uh the Philadelphia Police Department has, I guess, a league, like an inner
Oh, okay,
police
okay.
department league or something like that, and I guess they're the Blue Sox.
Okay, all right. So
So that's
that
that's how
that
that
makes
would.
sense. Okay. I was like, oh, Red Sox. I gotta admit though,
Yeah,
dude, some of these Nikes that you've done, the Ted Lasso one was
yeah,
hot.
yeah.
Dude,
That
that
one was really popular online too.
that was really hot. I like the one that you did with all the K's on it.
Yep.
I love the one that Michael Schmidt's putting his leg on. You.
Yeah, yeah. That one was a lot of fun to do too, because I was actually a little intimidated because I do some research on him online to just see like how like
Yeah.
he was in person, and there was kind of mixed reviews. But honestly, he was extremely nice, and
You know
and
what's
he was cool with us.
what's funny, and I mean I've met my share of celebrities before I even did podcasting.
Mhm.
You know, I actually got to meet a New York Knicks legend, John Starks.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, for me at a show that I was working at, and I was a little late because I'm working I got to work and sell my products, and I waited
Right.
online, and he was just done. I go, John, I'm sorry. I go, Mr. Starks, I'm sorry. You're one of my favorite NBA legends, besides Michael Jordan and Patrick
Hmm.
Ewing, and the list. I go, the list continues.
Yeah, a
But
couple others, right?
yeah, no, but I go, listen, I always respected you as a person. And he goes, please, no more here. He actually gave me an autographed NBA ball, and he autographed. I had a rookie John Stocks card which he signed for me,
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
and I
Yeah.
closed it back in the case, and that meant so much for me. He took the time out, and then
Hmm.
what was even cooler is I was grabbing lunch, and I sat by myself. He's like, "Hey, do you mind me sitting with you?"
Oh, that's great. You can't beat that.
You can't, because and this is before social media even hits. That I got to have lunch, and for 20 minutes I talked to an NBA legend,
Yeah,
and
that's crazy.
and it's nuts. And and I see what you're doing. Like, I love, well, first of all, I love the cases you bring to the players, man. It's like top secret, man. I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. They're pretty popular amongst the players too, because the last time or two times, I guess, yeah, two times ago, I
Mhm.
guess you could say. Um, Stott was like, "Do you want these back, or do you like? You gave me a lot of them already." I'm like, "I mean, if you want to give me them back, but I'm
I'll
just
take
giving
them.
it to the yeah, like
I'll,
I'm giving it to you. If you don't want it, I guess I'll take it back." But he's like, "No, no, 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 I want it. I want it." So yeah, they're I get them from Harbor Freight actually,
Mhm.
and then I do them up. I paint them. Some of them I paint, put my logo on it. So
And let me tell you, some of them are so cool, man. Like, I go, man, I'm a little jealous, but I'll take my box the way it is, though. I like it.
yeah,
You know what
they're
I
a
mean?
little harder to ship. They're a
Yeah,
little
no,
harder to
and
ship
that's why I
out.
was like, I totally respected that.
Yeah,
But you know what? For me to have, like, I have my own little jersey here. I custom made
yeah, I
my own.
saw that. That's great. That's cool.
I found this on fansidea.com. And I'm like, I wonder if I can make my own jersey. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So I did. I have the year I was born, 79. That's been my
that's
football
awesome.
jersey number for many years. Gomez is my last name, so G had to go with it. So, um, you
Yeah,
know, and that's why I put the patch right up here, like a C for captain. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's
It's like,
cool. I like that.
and this is what, like, what I do for me. I don't. I'm not about business. I'm about having fun. Like, as you can see,
Yeah,
it's just two buddies talking. Like, I'm drinking coffee right now because I need it.
yeah,
But seeing your artwork, seeing you and how personable you are, I can see why everyone is coming towards you. And I really do hope the NFL. I hope an Eagle does come out and
yeah.
see what you're doing.
That would be just insane.
You know,
Every time it if I see on my phone, like when I saw these guys pop up
mhm.
on my phone for the first time, is like, what? Like, why are you texting me? You could go to there's a lot of customizers out there. Why are
Oh
you
yeah,
coming to me?
but there's a
But
reasoning why they're coming to you.
exactly, and that's what a lady told me. I was actually waiting at the field to give Bryson a pair, and she came up to me and she was a fan of my work. She knew
Mm,
me from online, so that was really cool. And she said, I was like, well, you know, I guess they just see me or whatever. And she was like, no, you have to give yourself credit.
you
If
do.
the work is bad, they wouldn't come to. And I'm like, and that really resonated with me. I'm like, well, maybe she's right. Maybe I do need to start like being a little bit more confident in my
Mhm.
work, because everyone's like, oh, who are you gonna get next? Who are you gonna next? And they're like, well, you'll never get Harper. You'll never do this, and you'll never do that. But that makes me want. Like, yeah, maybe I can get him. Maybe I will get it. You know what I mean? Like that just. So I've definitely become a lot more confident
Mhm.
in that aspect, but it's been crazy. It's
Hey,
been absolutely nuts.
hopefully one of the guys, Harper or Crook, sees this and they say, "Wow, I really like his show. How do I get on?" That
Yeah,
my
maybe I
my
wouldn't be surprised.
listen. My goal would be one of these greats to come on my show. Listen, I wouldn't wear my Yankee stuff at all just because I support them. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
for
right,
me to for me, like I said, this is I've done 35 shows on my own. I've been only 8 months on my own. And
right.
January
That's
is going
awesome.
to be,
Yeah,
January the end of January is going to be my 1 year anniversary. Would I love to have a huge name celebrity? Yes. Am I going to get it? I don't know, but I'm going to keep pushing. I
Right.
send,
Yeah.
I don't have connections like some of these other guys do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have a small little connection here and there. You know, I deal with a production company that hooks me up with a couple bands here and there. You know, um, I got lucky with four local New Jersey celebrities because of Instagram. I've been following
Yeah.
them for many years. Like I had Christina Bear on, I had Cara DeFalco on, I had Marissa Brainy on, I had Don Smith on. These were all part of News 12 New Jersey's, and they were worked on New York News 11 too. Some of them. So for me to be honest, I still talk to them like you. Like I'm
Yeah.
surprised
Yep.
because I pick their brains. These are people I inspire. They inspire me to do what I do.
Hmm.
And just
Absolutely. Yeah.
like how you're doing yours, you're another inspiration for me to even write. Like I do blogs too. I just don't podcast. I write blogs.
Yeah.
You know,
No, that's awesome.
and I had a couple of them. Like I wrote one about dreams. Are they real? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Can they be real? Um, I suffer from anxiety and depression. I wrote about that. But I also I like to raise awareness for other people. I did autism, which was huge.
Yeah.
Cerebral palsy is another one. Type 1 diabetes. I actually have another friend coming on for depression and drugs, because it affects people. I mean, this is a guy who
Absolutely.
hit rock bottom and brought himself back up. So
Yeah.
I cannot wait for that show. I've had Giant fans come on the show, you know, to talk about him. I got one guy, and it's kind of funny because when I look at your thing on your page, I see three of my friends who are following you now. Uh, the
Oh,
pizza
okay. Yeah.
the Pizza Hulk is one of them. Great guy. He's a huge pizza guy, and he's a huge Nike guy.
Oh, okay.
Sneaky G Man, he's my boy from Dallas, who's the biggest Giants fan I've ever seen, who lives in Dallas.
Oh, okay.
And then you got Unique 23. That's my barber.
Okay.
He started following you once I started mentioning you.
Oh, that's all. Well, I appreciate that.
So for me to see some of the guys who I talk to up here in New Jersey, I said, listen, I go, if you want a shoe, hit him up, talk to him. He'll hit.
Yeah.
I go, he goes, oh,
Absolutely.
did you get any discounts? I go, listen, I can't reveal anything what he's giving me because it's not right. He
Yeah.
customized shoes. This is his business. I everyone thinks, listen, I'll let everyone think what they want to think. The truth is we know the truth. And
For
that's how
sure.
I'm keeping it. You know what I mean? The respect factor. I'm not going to ask you, hey, how much did you charge Mike Schmidt for his shoe? It's none of my business, but that's what people always try to get that.
Yeah. I've.
Oh, don't worry. You're good.
Oops, sorry about that. I
That's
got a
all right.
phone call.
That's all right.
But yeah,
That happens to me too.
yeah. That's happened quite a few times with. I've done a couple news interviews and
Mm.
articles and things like that, and they do try, and I just say, you know what, that's it's kind of classified. I don't want to. I don't want to put
Yeah.
that out there for anybody, and that actually happened when did that? Oh, when I was first on NBC Sports Philadelphia when they shouted me out or whatever.
Right.
I literally went to sleep, and the next morning I have like, however, I don't know how these people got my phone number, like these news outlets and like people tweeting me, and I'm like, who are these people? And then I got a email from the marketing lady at Central Penn,
Okay.
and she's like, I need to help you with this. They're reaching out to me, and I'm like, oh my god, this is nuts. So she actually helped me with some of the interviews, and I did one for the one I won't say it in case they're listening, but
Yeah, I
this
got you.
one place they asked me, well, how much do you make off this? How much have you made so far? And I'm like,
That's none of your business.
where did that come from? Like we
Yeah.
just
Like,
started talking about how I'm getting in touch with these players, and it's like, well, how much do you make off it? How much are they
hey,
paying you? I'm like,
what's funny? Did you notice I didn't ask that?
yeah,
It's
yeah, and
the
I
it's
appreciate it. Yeah,
it's the respect factor because I'm celebrating you. I don't care.
yeah,
Listen, you could be the richest mofo out there, but I'm not going to ask what you're making because it's none of my business.
yeah,
There's a respect factor. There's a line you just don't cross, no matter what you're doing in an interview.
right.
Listen, I respect you're number 27. My daughter was born October 27th. So for
Oh,
me,
okay, yeah.
I love that. You know what I mean? That's a connection for me to you. You know what I mean? Hey,
Yeah,
also,
absolutely.
I love horror flicks. I love the shoes that you made for those because those were awesome. Also, my son
Yeah.
got a little jealous because you made Bluey.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That I've had a couple of, and I never even heard of that. That happens quite often. Like, what someone will be like, "Oh, can you do this for me?" And I'm like, "Yeah," and I'll just do some research real quick, like, what the heck is Bluey and Bingo? And I figured it out, but also I might get scrutinized for this, but I didn't know anything about Dragon Ball Super or Dragon Ball
Oh
Z or
yeah,
whatever it is. But
Dragon Ball Z. Trust me,
yeah,
I'm 43 and I still don't get that crap.
yeah, yeah. Well, the Phillies pitcher Gregory Soto,
Okay,
he uh
he's a
he
big.
hits me up. Can you do Dragon Ball Super? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, no, I have no idea what
Like,
that is, but my buddy does, so he kind of helped me throughout the process. But yeah, it's different for everyone in terms of pricing and all. That's why I'm kind of about pricing, just because
yeah,
if someone wants a full portrait, full custom, it's obviously going to be more than if someone just wants, like something a little bit more simple. You know what I mean? So it's hard to give prices out when
and
it,
that's
it
why it's
really.
and that's what I like. And like I said, I like working like guys like you. Like I said, listen, Carte Blanche, do what do you think? What does it make you happy? You tell me. Look at my pictures. You see who I am.
Mhm.
If you need to do that, I'm all about that too, because that's how I really got to know you, is going through your pictures and then finding your name and actually owned by Ryan Stevens. So, you got
Yeah,
it right
yeah,
there.
it's
So I was
kind of on
able
there, right?
so I was able to look more into you to see who you were a little bit, because I sometimes I go into interviews cold, not knowing a lot.
Mhm.
And
Right,
sometimes that makes the best interviews. You know what I mean?
right.
If I do 9,000 hours of research, I'd be like, I know everything about this guy. And
You
that,
pretty much know everything, right?
so what's the point of, the show?
Right.
The point is next level customs, Ryan, you, man. I mean, you are doing it because you're doing which looks like that your house to begin with.
Yeah, yeah. So it's crazy. In my house, we called it an art room. It was just like where me and my sister had like all of our paintings from like when we were kids and all. So I started in there. It was just a table,
Mhm.
and then I went to school. So I lived on campus.
Okay.
It's kind of frowned upon to do that stuff in your dorm room. So I was like, okay. So then my fiance, she had an apartment in Harrisburg.
Okay.
So I convinced her to let me do it in her kitchen. So that's where I did the Bailey cleats and most of the horror ones that you see. So I did everything out of there for about 2 months. And then the kitchen got small. There was just boxes like on her fridge, and the news came and they're like, "You realize like you're doing MLB players or MLB player cleats in an apartment in Harrisburg in a kitchen. You know that,
Yeah.
right? Like you do you realize this?"
But
And I'm
that's what
like,
makes the story
"Word."
so good. You know
Right,
what I
that's
mean?
what I was like, "You know what? It is kinda crazy now that you say something. It is kinda, absurd, but it
It's not
worked."
it's not even absurd. I love it because, technically my man cave is turning into the family cave. Slowly
Mhm.
but surely. I got a daughter
Right,
who's 7, I got a son who's 3. I play my PlayStation down here, I do my shows down here, and
right.
it gets difficult, but you know what? If I ever got bigger, I'd be like, this is where I started.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely, yeah.
and the cool thing is, like, like I said, inspirations, like seeing you with Croc Schmidt, Bryce, all these superstars, man, like that inspires me to do more for my show.
Yeah.
Hey, Philadelphia Phillies, any retirees want to come on the show? More than welcome. He'll
Right,
let you know where to find
right.
me.
Absolutely, yeah. It it I could never imagine that stuff happening, I really just did it for friends and family at first, and if you would've told me 3 years ago that I would be working with these people and going to games and dropping them off and meeting them, I'll say you're fucking crazy. Mind
Yeah.
the language, but you're crazy. You're
No,
insane. That would never happen.
don't worry about it. Like I said, this is one of these shows that you could say it's like Howard Stern. What's he going to say next? Don't worry about it, man.
Okay, okay. All right,
Because
sounds good.
I want people to realize, like, we're real people, you and me.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
And that's the thing. What I love, what I do, because that's what I bring is reality. It's not like reality TV. It's
Right.
not. we're hanging out, and you and I are going to the Phillies game tomorrow, and we're gonna hang out down on the field every day. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
would I be starstruck? Yeah, just a little bit. You kind of know them already. You'd be like,
Yeah.
"Yo, what's up?" I'm like, "Damn, you know him like that?" Like, seriously,
Yeah. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I've got a couple of those because for some reason it seems like I bring someone new every time. I don't know
Right.
why that is. I usually bring my dad because he helps with a lot of stuff. So I
And
he's
that's
like
something I
has to come.
respect.
Yeah.
And that's something I respect, man. I lost my dad a long time ago.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he unfortunately passed away of cancer. He was very young. But you know what? I'm glad you're doing that with your dad, because that, you got to understand, for me, that makes me even more happier for you, because
Right.
you're spending that time with your pops. Like, I try to spend a lot of time with my kids, you know what I mean? So for
Right.
me, I'm not my dad, I'm not my wife's dad, but I am who I am.
Yeah.
So I make
Yeah.
sure, right before the show, I'm putting them to bed. I'm like, it's like, what time is the show? I go 8:30, but don't worry, daddy will stay up here till 8 o'clock,
Yeah.
because I want to make sure she's sleeping.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
my wife came down, Starbucks. I go, Starbucks, yes, please. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's what I'm sipping on right now.
Oh yeah. That's I'm extremely grateful for that. We spend hours and hours and hours and hours in here. And yeah, it's I'm very, very grateful for him to be able to be by me all this time and taking him to see John Crucken, to see Mike Schmidt, the people that he grew up with. That's something that honestly, I of course I know who Mike Schmidt and John Cruck are, but
Yeah.
I could tell how much more it meant to him, like meeting these people than to me. And then just how they interact and he talks to them and says he watched them when he grew up and all that. That makes it all for me. So
See, like
yeah,
for me,
I'm extremely blessed.
for me right now, we're talking about, I'm looking at your video with Bryson, or with Bryson Scott right now. And for me, it's
Right.
like, dude, he's a legit good guy. Awesome. I love the scruffiness, because he reminds me, like me, or us right now. We're all scruffy
Yeah.
looking, you know what I mean?
Right, right,
But he's
right.
he's a down to earth kind of guy. But that's
Yeah.
the thing. That's what people don't realize, because they're superstars. Yes, they make millions and millions of dollars. It don't matter. But at the end of the day,
Right.
is what you're doing. They're up here. You are not. Well, you're more up here now. I'm still down here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the fact is the respect that you're getting from these guys, and the respect factor that I have for you too, man. It's unbelievable, and you're just killing it in the sneaker world. I'm not the hugest sneakerhead, but like, everyone's like asking me, why aren't you wearing the shoes? I'm like, I'm not wearing the shoes to the barber shop. I
Right,
don't
right,
need.
right.
But it's like, I said, listen, I'll bring them in one day, or I'll wear them one day, but I got to switch to my slippers before I get a haircut. Because I
Yeah.
don't want them to be ruined, because those
Yeah.
shoes mean a lot to me.
No, I
You know what I mean?
appreciate that. That
And I
means a lot.
appreciate, and then to me, to have my own shoe with my Sleevie G logo, you gotta understand, that's big for a small guy like me.
Yeah.
Because for me, like, I just made another step to put my stamp on something in this world. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
and when I say, man, I almost was in tear of joys when I saw them come in. I was like, I didn't get the package yet. Where the, I came home like,
Yeah.
where's the package? Like, it says it
Yeah.
was delivered outside. Where is it? Like,
Right.
it meant a lot to me, because growing up, I never got a lot of cool shoes. You know what I mean?
Right.
I actually made one pair of Nikes with the Rangers and the Giants colors. The red, white, and blue.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
That's cool.
custom made that. I spent a little money on that, but it's
Yeah.
once in a while.
Right. Right.
For me, these are, like I said, I love them. As I'm right here next to them, it's one of those shoes. And again, before we leave tonight, I will re-highlight them again, because I want people to see these, because I want them to know, like, look how cool you could do. Look at the stuff you can do. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I will
Yeah.
take down the Sleevie G logo again before we sign off, because and that was my next question. Like, you actually said something earlier before we started. It's like, you sand the shoes. Like, when did you figure out that you had to do all that before you're putting paint on? Like, how did you start experimenting with all this? I guess is the better
Yeah.
question.
Yeah. So I guess it would have been my junior year in high school. So that was way back in 2018.
Okay.
So 2018, I had these pair of Jordan cleats and I loved them.
Oh,
but they were
nice.
just beat. They were beat to hell, and I was like, I got to do something with them. And like I said, I went online and $800, $900. I'm like, I can't spend that. I don't have it. So let me just do it. So I went to Walmart. I got this like 89-cent acrylic paint, and I just started brushing it on, and I took it to practice. I was like, oh, where'd you get those? Where'd you get those? I'm like, oh, I did them myself, and they didn't last the practice. They cracked and they peeled. And so I started like looking it up online. Like they there wasn't as many YouTube videos out
Hmm.
around that time about like customizing. There was a few here and there, but it was more like blogs and websites. And
Hmm.
so I came across an article and it said how you should acetone them. So just rub it down with acetone. It takes the factory finish that the factory puts on, like Nike or whatever. They put on a clear coat to protect the leather and the paint. So once you take the acetone off, you can paint it. So I started
Uh,
doing that. That worked really well on shoes, but not so much on cleats. So then one of my favorite creators that also does shoes is his name's DeJesus Custom Footwear.
I've seen
And
his work too.
yeah, he's amazing. He really, he's the guy. If you like, that's someone I look up to. He's the guy. Another guy is Lucha. Really
Hmm.
look up to him. But then I found his page. I'm looking at all his videos, and he's like, no, you need to sand these shoes. The cleats you got to sand, or it's not, it's not gonna work. So then I bought a detail sander, the sandpaper, and then I started teaching my dad how to do it. And my dad has a background. He painted automotive, so he painted cars,
Okay, so he's
motorcycles, helmets, things like that. So it was right up his alley. It's pretty much the same concept. So he really enjoys doing that side of it. And yeah, that's really how I learned how to do it, just online, and people inside the industry trying to get knowledge off of them. And
mhm.
yeah, so that I'm very grateful for those people for sure.
Definitely, definitely. And man, we're very grateful for you.
Thank you, thank you.
Like I said, we're almost at that end of the time a little bit. But again, I'm gonna take down the Sleevie G logo so everyone can see again your work and how amazing it is. Again, excuse the background, ladies and gentlemen. But
That's okay.
as you can see his logo right here, guys. There's my logo, and look how hot the shoe is, man. I love what you did to it. I love the colors, first of all. This is literally right up my alley. Um, you know, uh, I I just can't say any much great stuff because, like you, I'm speechless. You know what I mean? To me again, it's just another stamp of what I'm doing with my show and how I'm doing it. Just for you, like how you're doing it. You're definitely making your mark in the world right now. And if I could tell you, man, I wouldn't be saying I'm not proud as hell as you, bro, because
Thank you.
you're doing something that a positive, b inspired by other people, and you're an inspiration for me to keep continuing on my show to hopefully get to that next level, like where you're at, and saying, yes, I know that man. Yes, he's been on my show, and yes, I'm proud of him. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? For me,
No,
and
that means a
then,
lot.
and your dad's got to be extremely proud of you too, your family. God bless your fiance. Let's make sure we mention that because without her,
She's blowing me up right now too.
she goes, what's taking so long? So not a problem.
Yeah,
Listen, we gotta give her props too because she's been there every step. So
absolutely.
I can't
Absolutely.
wait to see the wedding day shoes for you guys. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
That
Shout
should
out
be
to
some
Haley. I'm sure she'll watch this. So.
Haley. We love you. Thank you so much. But before we sign off, why don't you tell people where they could find you and everything? And I'll definitely repost it up too when I release
Sure.
this. All right.
Sure, yeah. Instagram is at NxtLVLcustom. Same thing with Facebook, Twitter. I'm on YouTube. I got a couple videos on there, Next Level Customs. And my website, nextlevelcustoms.com. You can figure out how to order from me, and you could see some of the work I've done on there. So
Oh man, like I said, a true inspiration, Ryan. True honor to have you on this show, man. I can't thank you enough. As you can see, guys, started business 3 years ago. Here is handing out Bryson Scott, John Kruk, Mike Schmidt. You're talking big name Philly guys, Eagles, Flyers.
coming soon, hopefully.
You
Hopefully.
know, I 76ers. I'm gonna tag them. Matter of fact, tonight, and I'm gonna tag the
Cool.
Giants and the Rangers and the Devils up in this
That, hey,
area
I'm
too.
I'm down for whatever. I'm down for
I'm gonna
whatever.
tag my shoe. I'm gonna tag my sneaker again, showing them the artwork and I'm gonna definitely be
Awesome.
blasting Nelly's Air Force Ones on it because that's how we gotta roll, man.
Oh, for sure, for sure,
So
absolutely.
as you can see, guy who started his business 3 years ago, and look at him, he's blowing up, man. It's a true inspiration for
Thank you.
me, a true inspiration for other sneakerheads. I hope you guys get a chance to see his work. Check it out because it's truly like his name of his company, Next Level. It is true next level, man. I
Thank you.
can't wait to see the stuff that's going to be coming out soon. You know, Ryan, gotta thank you again. Guys, please check him out. Subscribe to everything you can think of: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, you know, for him. And then for me, do the same thing. Hit that subscribe button, hit that love button. Show some love on
Absolutely.
everybody, man. So for tonight, I gotta thank Ryan. I gotta thank
Hey,
everybody.
thank you. I just wanted to thank you for having me on. It was a privilege and it was a lot of fun. Thank you.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for saying that. And guys, as I usually end, it's nothing but love, peace, and happiness. Good night, everybody.
Absolutely.